Welcome to the Tech Journeys podcast. I'm your host, Vincent, and on this podcast, I interview people in tech. As always, this show is sponsored by the Consulting Launch Method, where I help experienced tech professionals build their own consulting business alongside their job without spending years figuring out the business side, right? We've helped clients go from initial idea to first customer in 90 days and six figures within a year. So if you want to learn more, connect with me on LinkedIn and send me a message. On today's show, I'm really pleased to have Sam Strawbridge on. Sam is a product manager at ITS, where he's, by his sort of own description, is a custodian of inherited connectivity portfolio, strategist of the future connectivity, and market pattern recognizer. So that feels already we have enough food for thought to talk about there already, Sam. So welcome on the show.
Thank you, Vincent. It's a pleasure to be here.
The first question I always start with, Sam, is looking back at your career, what is the decision or the project that you're most proud of, and what made it stand out to you?
So probably it's fairly recent one, but it had sort of two eventual prongs, I suppose. So we were reviewing a couple of years ago now how we do the demarcation for a layer 3 direct internet access service. We looked at it, we're like, okay, so we're putting, we're running this over a passive optical network. We have our termination box, a little white box on the end. We're then plugging that up to a Cisco router that goes in a rack, in a comms cabinet or somewhere. But what we're actually doing here is introducing another point of failure that we don't actually need in terms of another piece of, carbon emitting electrical equipment that sits in a cupboard or a shelf, and eventually at some point it's like might fail, require an engineer visit, another truck roll, all of these things. So we looked at that, we just like, well, how can we re-architect this? How can we redo this so we actually end up with a single piece of lower emitting hardware on site? So what we came up with is we moved what we know as the layer 3 routing side, all of the IP addressing, we moved that into our packet edge, so that runs as a virtual service. So that's effectively now running as software across our network, which then allows us to use just a little square plastic optical network termination device as the demarcation for the customer to plug their equipment to. As part of this, though, the second process, so that in itself has saved a fairly significant amount of supply chain carbon emissions, manufacturing emissions, and gives an overall greener, better service for people which will be more resilient. But then the second prong of it, we're like, okay, we're now running this IP routing on our packet edge. This means effectively we need to offer protection to our customers in case of DDoS event, etc., like that. So we went out to market and we had a chat with the good guys over at Cisco. They introduced us to one of their product teams, guys, I think at a company called EdgeHawk, who had developed a service that runs on Cisco Edge routers, which provides a DDoS platform. But that's then an inline service, again, running software. So we're not passing traffic out to the network. We keep full sovereignty of our traffic within the network.
Okay.
And so the second prong of that was then bringing that to market as a customer solution for actually you can have a turn on, turn off, fire and forget DDoS service. So that's probably my proudest career moment today.
You were the product manager to kind of establish this within ITS, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So all of that was basically me leading the project managing it, product managing it, working with all the cross-function teams to just bring it from ideation through to delivery, and that now managing it in life as well.
No, you're managing in life now as well. So
yeah.
So what does that look like on the in life management side of things?
So due to the way in which we went through the project, it's happily quite a light touch on it. There's just incremental improvements. The odd tweak here and there, and just ensuring that everything is, keeping in line and that customers are happy with it, gathering their feedback and seeing what they may want to see next, how other products might complement this, what further things we could bring into, I suppose, a suite of secure overlay products to sort of back end into it.
Fantastic. Sounds very exciting sort of project. And how long did that project take?
So the first part of it took probably about 6 to 8 months. The second part of it, we were given a fairly tight deadline to launch in time for Industry Expo. So we had about 2 months for that part.
Yeah, some of these events drive creativity in execution sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to balance out everything that you want, all well, I suppose all of your list of hopes and dreams for the product, and go, actually, yeah, we'll containerize these and deliver these in stages down the line, perhaps, rather than all as a big bang.
Yeah, that's sort of a that is a good practice in general. Now, if you were starting your tech career again tomorrow, knowing what you know now, right, with all the changes that are happening, I mean, tech never stops changing, right? So that's the fun bit, and all the transitions that are happening. Maybe AI is part of your thought process, but what is the one thing that you would do differently, or the one thing you would tell your younger self?
So yes, I suppose fairly simple one for me. I was relatively late into tech, so I would just say start younger, dive into it straight out of school, because I always say I have no idea what I want to do if I grow up. Um, that's been the case all of my life. I came out of school, I had loads of temp jobs, I toured in bands for a bit. Then I was a chef for a while, and then I just went, you know what, I need to grow up a bit and get a job that actually doesn't take 80 hours out of my week and actually pays a bit better. And I walked into a Reed recruitment office in Kingston on Thames. I just went, hey guys, got any jobs in IT? And they was like, yeah, we've got one at our head office. We could give you a trial. And ended up there. And now it's like, oh yeah, this is actually logical in my head. I can do this. So yeah, just start younger and get into it and crack on earlier, I suppose, would be my advice to myself.
Yeah, and if what benefit would you have had? I guess you arrive at this point sooner, but anything else you would add?
I think it'd have given me probably the ability to specialize into a number of different fields younger, at a time when those technologies were emerging more. So through my career, I spent a significant portion of it working with mobile technologies. Probably at the point in time where I left school, that was more in the heyday when things were booming more in that area. But yeah, I suppose, yeah, my fascination has always been with radio. Just now I'm at the other end of the electromagnetic spectrum.
Where did that fascination come from?
Um, I think I'll pin this one on my dad. He worked for years in a what were they called? There, valves. Before we had transistors, we had those lovely tube valves for everything. Okay. He worked with those. And he used to tell me stories about when he'd go out to replace them in airport radar systems. And I was like, all right, how do those work then? And I think that just set my mind down this path and going, well, this works, but why does it work? How does it work? Why can't I see it working? What's happening there? And it's just the sort of inquisitiveness and the need to know how everything works and interacts has never stopped.
Hey, it sounds like it. And what's the new technical bit that you're sort of venturing into at the moment? Is there anything novel that you're exploring?
So yeah, we're looking into a few things, just mainly for bits like additional security services that can plug in, because in this day and age everyone needs security. I know there's been no big headlines this year, but there were recently. Other than that, looking at things like putting, the theory of putting multiple different services down the same fiber, the same demarcation device. That then ties into, I suppose, more of a network as a service model. But I think fairly consistently industry-wide, everyone's shied away from that. A few have tried, but no one, I think, has nailed the formula for it yet. But that's one of my pet projects, I suppose, that I keep about.
I don't know. That sounds interesting, because obviously, you have you see yourself as strategy of the future of connectivity and market pattern recognizer. So are there any sort of patterns that you're seeing?
So yeah, we're seeing various patterns at the moment. Things like, it's simple ones like the leased line market has been becoming saturated for a number of years. This is causing price commoditization
Yeah.
and price push down, and ultimately people are realizing that now with full fiber services, having a leased line isn't necessarily the be all and end all for a business solution unless you're a business at a particular scale. So we're seeing push down into the FTTP market, which in itself is no bad thing. People and businesses are still getting what they need, but it pushes into a market where the intelligent overlay services become the value add, become the way of selling, rather than just going, oh, we can get you one of these for cheaper. You can go, well, actually, we can get you one of these for better, for more secure, for more resilience with a backup service, or various add-ons to ensure that with increasing businesses who have increasing reliance on cloud instances, digital platforms, the actual cost of downtime is significantly higher than it used to be. Where even say if you can't connect to Office 365, you've got big problems, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, it's all about now. It's resilience, stability, ensuring that latency is low, and that services are available. Is now the criticality in the market.
Yeah, I sort of recognize some of these things myself as well. As I hear talking, sort of some of these things do resonate, right? The commoditization of sort of lower layer sort of elements in the infrastructure stack. Now, changing slightly the direction, but maybe it sort of dovetails into some of the direction you talked about. What does the next chapter of your career look like for you? What's on your horizon?
So it's always an interesting one. I'm terrible at looking forwards when it's for myself. So I've always been that guy who sort of waits to see and then goes, oh, that looks interesting, I'll go over there. That's been my whole career, since years ago when I started as a support desk agent at Gamma.
Yeah.
And then just sort of went, oh, yes, that looks interesting, I'll try this, try a bit of that. Ended up in customer engineering for a bit, did all the site visits and that, and then it's like, oh yeah, how about product management? That sounds good. So yeah, I don't know really. I suppose it'd be nice to specialize further into technical side of product management. It's the technical stuff has always interested me, but then a part of me says that's my comfort zone. That maybe there's something different kicking about.
Mm-hmm.
There's temptation again to go back into operations. Maybe into operations management, because I've always enjoyed trying to bring out the best in people and bring out the best for customers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at the moment, I'd honestly say, I suppose I'll say the thing again. I don't really know what I want to do if I grow up. I'll know it when I see it, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. So you're saying product management is you feel comfortable? I mean, I've done years of product management myself. I always personally enjoyed the quite diverseness of the role, right? So you get a bit very technical, but also very business and commercial, and it sort of blends marketing to some extent as well in terms of positioning and messaging. So it blends quite a lot of different disciplines into one sort of role if you do it, do it right. So and logistical, operational side as well. So it's, but for me, it was always very, I would always enjoy doing that, right? So again, so is it, do you experience the same, or is there any area in particular that you kind of feel you feel more that's your comfort zone versus a different part of the role?
Yeah, I'm completely the same. The ability of sitting at a desk a day and doing literally a completely different functions thing in every 20-minute segment of the day is great. That's what I love about product management. I suppose the technical side of it is my pure comfort zone. I could just sit there and relax basically. Pushing myself more on the commercial side. My brain loves spreadsheets, especially when it's got about 20 worksheets on it. All of them are riddled with formulas, and somehow the results come out that agree with what my brain thinks to start with. So yeah, I'm going more towards that side at the moment, but I think, but possibly. I just don't know longer term which side of it. I think probably setting in the balance of it all and having all of the different facets is maybe that is the next comfort zone.
The next, fair enough. Yeah. I recognize spreadsheet. I'm a spreadsheet person myself also. I think we have maybe fairly similar traits, but it also helps you with structuring your thoughts, I find. So, fantastic. So now, it's been fantastic having you on the show, Sam. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Just connect with you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, absolutely. Just drop us a message or a connection on LinkedIn. Give us a shout. Always good to talk. Always happy to talk. Fantastic.
Well, I really appreciate being on today and sharing your energy, your experience, and the vibe. That's really enjoyed it. As a reminder to everyone listening, this show is sponsored by the Consulting Launch Method, where I help experienced professionals build their own consulting business alongside their day job without spending years figuring out the business side. We've helped clients go from initial idea to first customer in 90 days and 6 figures within a year. To learn more, connect with me on LinkedIn and send me a message. Sam, thank you so much. And
absolute pleasure.
And for everyone else, until the next episode, take care.